Well, everyone, this is Torcaso. Text me at 412-559-2731. Today I'm going to talk about stuff that it might surprise you. It might have you scratching your head. But the wild part about it is what I'm about to tell you is 100% true. And I don't have an explanation for it. But let me rephrase that. No, that's not good. There's even scientific proof that what I'm about to tell you works. Now, there's this book. It's I would say probably over 100 years old. But it's a book you need to get. Or if you can get it on video or audio, you need to hear this book. And I promise you, it's going to make you think, and you're going to be like, that can't be true. Except that I've experienced it. It is true. Now, the book is called The Science of Getting Rich. And I believe it's by the author is Wallace D. Wattles. And so you read this book and you're like, there are times when you're just like, is this guy on something? And he's not. So then fast forward to 2025. There are people on YouTube talking about if you think it into being, it becomes a reality. If it gets into your subconscious, it can do nothing else but become a reality. And you're thinking to yourself, how in the world is that true? Because in order for that to become a reality, if you really sit there and think about it, you're really affecting your reality, but in a larger sense, you're also affecting the outside world's reality. So you're probably like getting ready to scratch your head, thinking, hold up. This don't make any sense. And guess what? There's scientific proof that it works. Now, I want to use me as an example. Years ago, I was living in a city called Zillionople. And I wanted to get back to, at the time, my home city. I wanted to get back to Pittsburgh, PA. So every day, I talked about getting back home. And do you know what? Not long after, I got back home. Now, y'all might be thinking, well, why couldn't you get home anyway? That's a long story for another day. But then, I'm going to go with another example. Okay, a few years ago, we had an automobile accident. Somebody almost killed us, and a truck almost killed us in an accident. Our car was beyond repair. It was beyond total. Okay, it wasn't beyond total, but it was bad. And so I said to Annette, we'll get another vehicle. Don't worry about it. At the time, we were overcoming a severe cash flow challenge. In other words, the money wasn't there at the time. So I said to Annette, now, I want you to understand this. When I said what I'm about to tell you, I had absolutely zero idea how I was going to make it happen. But I said to Annette, we will have another vehicle by December. That would be December 2023. Well, I was wrong. We had it before the end of November. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's great. Here's the thing. Here's the bizarre part. We still didn't have the upfront funding. And I did not do it on what you would call a loan. But it happened. And we got the vehicle. It was ironic because the person who told me, I don't have any vehicles for you available, all of a sudden out of the blue, when I started saying and believing that I had a vehicle, out of the blue, the man called me up, said, Al, come down. I want to show you this vehicle. And lo and behold, we got a vehicle. Now, here's the part that is really where you need to pay close attention. I had no idea how or where. All that I knew is I wanted another vehicle. And I was going to keep that in my brain until I got that vehicle. Well, boom, the vehicle came to me. It almost as if it was driven to me. I mean, it was amazing. So here's the relevance for you. There are things in your life right now. I guarantee there are things in your life right now. Well, I can't guarantee I'm not you, but almost guarantee. There are things that you want to do. Maybe it's a new career. Maybe you want to become a multimillionaire. I don't know. I'm not you. Here's the thing. If you can get that idea into your head and keep it, your subconscious is going to get it in your head. Once it's in your subconscious, you know what's going to happen? It's going to have you start acting in a certain way. And ironically, the outside world is going to start. I can't explain it because I'm not a scientist, but the outside world will start acting in a certain way, and it will happen. It will actually happen. Now, I promise you, anybody listening to this is going to be like, yeah, right. Well, you know what? You don't have to take my word for it. It's all right. I want you to look up Dr. Bruce Lipton. Listen to what that man has to say. And then I want you to listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I would suggest you listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza multiple videos, multiple times. He even speaks about himself. He was in a situation where he could have been paralyzed. He should have been paralyzed the rest of his life. Should have been paralyzed. Not because I wanted him to be, but because of what happened to him. Obviously, I would never want that for anybody. But he literally thought himself to being healed. His brain literally caused his body to grow in a certain way, and he walks, and he and like I said, it's amazing. Then he has other people that he's worked with who were supposed to die of cancer. They were considered terminal, maybe months to live. And they started doing these practices that he teaches. And they actually got healed. Their brain, and I believe it's because of God, personally. I don't know if you're an atheist, an agnostic, or a person who believes in God. I believe in God. I will not apologize for that. I believe in the Lord thy God, Jesus Christ. And I'm going to go amen to that. That being the case, I want you to listen up. People with cancer, through God in their mind, was healed. Actually healed. And again, what Dr. Joe Dispenza speaks about, there's scientific proof it works. But here's where it gets interesting. I want to say hello to Beth. How you doing, Beth? Here's where it gets really interesting. You can think yourself to health. You can think yourself to wealth. And yes, it doesn't seem real. I'll be the first to tell you. But it is as real as it gets. If you get it in your subconscious and you literally think about it, write it down, study it, till your brain actually believes it and your subconscious believes it, you're going to get it. You will get it. I mean, I'm not God. I can't guarantee it, but the likelihood is pretty high. So I would suggest you, Beth, and all people start listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza on YouTube and other people. Now, again, I want to go back to what I said about my vehicle, our vehicle. When I told Annette, my girlfriend, since 1982, by the way, couple of days. I've been with her for a couple of days since the year 1982. Hey, forget about it. Anyway, when I told her we was going to get a new vehicle, there's no way in the world I should have been saying that. I'm telling you, we were overcoming a cash flow problem like nobody's business. But we got the vehicle. I literally thought it into reality. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know half the things I know now. I just knew I was not being without a vehicle. Just like when I was in Zillionople, PA, I just knew I was getting back home. And nobody on earth was going to stop me from getting back home. And I kept thinking it and thinking it and thinking it, and I got back home. So, if you get the book, The Science of Getting Rich, or you get Napoleon Hill's book, also probably about 100 years old, it's called Think and Grow Rich. You're going to read these things if you never read them before, and you're going to be like, that can't be true. It's true. And keep in mind, scientific proof. With regards to Dr. Joe Dispenza, I will tell you, there are things that he says that even right now, I'm like, man, come on now. Come on. But I know better. I know he's right. And I know he's right because it's happened to me. So here's what I'm saying. Yeah, I want you to be very clear as to what I'm saying. I'm saying if you have anything in your life you want, just, I don't care what it is. Maybe you want $100 million. I don't care. If you want it and you can think it and get it in your subconscious, there's a real good chance you will get your $100 million. Now, being that's the case, understand this. Whatever you think about becomes a reality. If you're there always stressed out about money, and you're like, oh, I'm never going to be a millionaire. Guess what? You're never going to be a millionaire. So now you've got to start believing you're going to be a millionaire. And I'm going to touch on that as a side note or a sidebar, if you will. Never say you don't want to be a millionaire. Never say you don't want to be a billionaire. Never say you don't want to be a trillionaire. Don't say it. Don't do it. I want you to want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire, and a trillionaire. Why? Why do I want you to think that way? Why do I want you to be that way? Simple. When you say that, what you're saying is you don't want it because you're not greedy. I get that. That's great. That's beautiful. I'm proud of you. But what you're forgetting is if you're a billionaire, think about all the people you can help, the animals you can help, something you love, something you care about. What about the fact, what if all of a sudden you became a billionaire and somebody you love got a terrible disease and you want to help them get treated? Do you know you can spend that money to help them? Or maybe you want to help children that need help, like maybe St. Jude or something. So just because you become an ultra wealthy person doesn't mean you're a bad person. The only time a wealthy person is a bad person is when they are trying to harm people to get that money, exploit people to get that money, not pay their fair share in taxes when they have that money, or if they have all that money and they don't want to help anybody at all. But if that's not you, get as much as you can because it's an energy. That's all that it is. It's an ability for you to use it to help. Help yourself, help your family, help somebody. You have to understand, money is a tool. It's an energy, but it's a tool. Think of it as a wrench. Think of it as a hammer. Think of it as an actual vehicle. It's a tool. A vehicle is a tool and a way for you to get from point A to B all the way to Z. Now, we don't necessarily call a vehicle a tool, but it's a mode of transportation to get you from one place to another. It is a tool to use it. Well, money is an energy, but it's a tool. So why can't you be a billionaire? Why not? There's no limit. And I need you to listen to this, because if you will read these books, get them into your head, watch videos, whatever way you can, and you listen to Dr. Dispenza, whatever you want, you can get it. As I always say, you have to believe it to achieve it. I want you to remember that part. You must believe it in order to achieve it. Why did I get back home? Because I believed it. Why did I get our vehicle when there was no rhyme or reason? I believed it. Now I'm going to declare something right now for me. I will be a multimillionaire. Why? Because I believe it and I want it. Why? Because I want to use a large part of that money to help my family, to help my friends, to help people not be in lack. And when I find out somebody needs help, I want to be able to use that tool called money as if it was nothing more than a screwdriver. When I find out somebody needs help, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to take care of it. That is what I shall do. Yeah, I will be a multimillionaire. Matter of fact, let me say I am a multimillionaire. No, it's not in my timeline yet. Or maybe it is, I just didn't get to that part. But when you say it and you believe it and you act as if you already are it, you become it. And trust me, you become it. That's not me being on Facebook Live to try to get views. That's not me being on Facebook Live to try to get followers or likes or anything. That's me being as honest as a human being can be. You will achieve it when you believe it. Now, for those of you who are of the faith of Christianity, let us remember what the Bible says. Through God, all things are possible. I want y'all to let that sink in for a minute. God doesn't say, well, they're going to be a millionaire and you can't. What does God say? Through God, all things are possible. So if all things are possible and you want a mansion for whatever reason, then you can have a mansion. If all things are possible and you want $300 million for your foundation that you want to create, you can have $300 million. Does it make sense? No. Well, with regards to what God said, yes. But when you think about what the doctor says and there being proof that it works, does that make any logical sense? No. But does it work? Oh, it works. Yeah, it works. You can literally change your brain and you can literally achieve whatever it is. If you want it, you can have it. And I want to leave you with these words. If you want it, you shall have it. But you must believe it to achieve it. My name? It's El Torcaso. 412-559-2731. Go ahead and text me. Hey, I'm different than a lot of people you watch on the internet. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm a wee bit different. But I'm determined. to see your life improve just as much as mine. You know why? I don't personally know you, but I love you. In a larger sense, I love you as a family member, almost like an extended family member. Now, for a lot of you, that may be hard to digest, but it happens to be true. Oh, and just as another sidebar, y'all might be thinking I'm just a new guy, I'm just a marketer, I'm just trying to get your money, whatever you might be thinking. I was an actual television talk show host for 19 years. Humanity Matters Live. That's a reality. That's the truth. And was I easy on people that did wrong? I had somebody tell me I'm like 120 minutes. No, I wasn't easy. I even had a slogan. If you ain't doing right, get ready to say goodnight. And then I always made sure to have a disclaimer. I mean legally, peacefully, ethically, morally, and financially. But yes, I said that on live TV. Oh yeah. Because it's the right thing to do. My final words to you will be, for now, will be, through God, all things are possible. Now I want you to think your way to whatever it is that you want. Love y'all.